Spawning in the top right-hand corner of... I can't even remember what this map is called. It is the purple Zerg of Cryomancer. And in the bottom left-hand corner, we have... Interesting. In-game, his name is Kilometer. Out of game, it was Skywalker45. But we have Miles as the Blue Terran. Getting into game number 1 here. Both players have just admitted that it is their first game since 2014, basically. And I am excited to see where... Oh, that is true. Refinery first. I didn't even...
I'm excited to see
double
where
refinery.
this build order take double gas.
I love it. Both double gas, very tech heavy from both sides for sure.
What are you thinking? Are we gonna see some infestors?
I hope so. I hope we see every unit in the tech tree, to be honest. That's what we deserve.
And oh, I thought that was an eBay for a second. I was gonna lose my mind.
Barracks is up. Or yeah, early scout. To be fair, he knows to scout. This is spawning pool Evo chamber. Very low mineral count workers.
So
very high gas income right now. Very specific, premeditated strategies coming out. I'm very happy to see it. And by that, of course, I mean when you're starting out, there's no way that they're going to be able to spend this gas, so it would make more sense to wait a bit, have these 3 workers mining the minerals for just a little bit longer, and then maybe once you have your barracks up and running, start working your gas bank up towards building a factory, that kind of stuff. But so we jest, but in reality, it's all just about, like, if your goal is to have, you know, a specific army or a specific base count by a certain number of time, putting down these 2 extractors super early is not necessarily the optimal thing to do. But I love the fact that both players did that exactly in the same, like, perfect mirrors. So, you know, we're here for fun time. And I'm very excited to see. We do see a natural expansion going down for our Terran player. Zerg so far not opting for a second base, just teching up. We see the lair coming out here soon. The Terran is still just... Oh, 5 Reapers queued up for some early harassment, no doubt.
Oh.
So far, Cryomancer does not have... oh, he will, actually. Three roaches coming out, so...
Pretty hard counter.
Yeah. And it does look like this map is a little bit tricky for Reapers in particular. There is this, like, hidden third base, but normally a Reaper would be able to jump in, but there is just enough of a void there, kind of as a buffer, that the Reaper's only way in is kind of right next to the front ramp, so no different than normal. And then, like, this small patch in between the 4th base and this high ground that kind of makes up the front of the first base of the Zerg player. So be interesting to see. 2 Reapers for now are completed, with still those 3 more on the way. Factory going down. Second base in full swing now. Hatchery going down, just a little bit over halfway complete for our Zerg. And we do see Hydralisk Den and Infestation Pit. Braden called it from the get-go. We are going to see Infestors. Or Vipers, technically. Or maybe just super fast 2-base Hive Tech. Which, honestly, all of those tickle my fancy. So, very excited. So many bunkers. So many bunkers coming out from Miles Kilometer. He does not... He will never be caught off guard here on his main base ramp here.
Nothing to put inside except, I guess, Reapers?
You could put Reapers. That's true.
You could,
And if he does have 4 bunkers, then you just queue the Reapers from one bunker as soon as that one gets destroyed, straight into the next one. Does look like those Reapers are going to take out this scouting drone from
First
our
blood.
Zerg. Yeah, it is first blood.
5.5 minutes.
And that Reaper with the single kill is feeling on top of the world. Let's take a look. If these Reapers were to head out, these Roaches are in a pretty good position. It does look like Zerg has vision of everything that could be a means of getting in there. Spire going down. It does look like we're kind of doing the whole tech tree on the Zerg side. Not gonna lie, that's pretty fun. Overlord creep. I love it. Spreading out that purple goodness. As the 4th bunker is getting made on the high ground, it does look like 3 more are going down on the low ground. But again, just the 4 Reapers to hop between them. Maybe playing some mind games, because unless you're really paying attention, 3 bunkers just looks like 3 bunkers. You can't tell like how many people are in each one unless you're really paying attention to the damage that comes out. But
The Reapers are getting reactored out in full queue.
it's
and
true.
Hellions.
Reaper Hellion, not great against this roach-based composition, but very fast, very harass heavy. If somehow they were able to get up into this mineral line, this unit composition is really good at doing that kind of harassment damage. But for now, at least, very passive game. It looks like both players are just working on building up their infrastructure, building up their armies, and just hanging out. It looks like both players supply blocked right around the 60 mark. Mutalisk and Roach coming out from Cryomancer. Those mutas, I will say, are going to have a heyday, because right now, all of Kilometer's stuff cannot shoot up. No Marines in this composition whatsoever. If we look at the units tab really quick, it does look like 5 Hellions, 8 Reapers, 44 SCVs. Not a one of those is going to be able to take on these Mutalisks. However, the Mutalisks are just hanging out defensively, just continuing to build up. Spire 1-1 air upgrades are coming out from the Zerg player. Does look like both bases for the Terran are fully saturated. Throwing down a bunch more barracks, ready to ramp up that that production. 4 starports being added on. So it's been a slow start so far, but pretty soon Terran's got this money bank, and as soon as all these buildings come online, that's going to become quite the force that Zerg will have to contend with. I am curious to see what he's going to make from these starports. Quick question: are the Hellions blocked? It looks like they're blocked. Looks like the SCVs are also blocked. Does somebody want to ping Miles and tell him about the salvage? Oh, he's got it. Okay, good. I was gonna say that would stink if, because bunkers, one of the few Terran buildings that cannot lift up to allow units to move, but bunkers can be salvaged for 75% of their initial cost refunded. So
We've got the quad starport at the bottom of the main.
love it. Very interested to see what comes out of this. If this is going to be like the battle cruiser or just a bunch of medevacs for, more bioforces that might come out. Does look like Zerg's getting antsy. He's moving down the ramp. Ultralisk's cavern is down, and I assume that that's what these are. Yes, 2 Ultras in the mix.
Ultra's definitely the hard counter to Reapers.
I think you're right. I think... And against the Hellions as well.
Marines, kind of.
Yeah. We do see the Marine count starting to slowly grow from those extra barracks that were thrown down. Reapers still being created from this initial barracks. Hellions continuing to be popped out. And it does look like reactors going down on these, so we are going to get quad reactored starports for either Vikings, medevacs, or Liberators. Liberators would be an interesting, and honestly probably the best against, like, a good defensive unit against these Ultralisks. Set up some Liberators. I believe you do not. I think it comes straight off the Liberator. Liberators also have a anti-air attack against these growing numbers of Mutalisks. We saw in the game last week between Braden and Sam just what even just a handful of Mutalisks are able to do to a mineral line, given enough time and given enough of a distraction. And we're seeing a good 15 Mutalisks right now. It does look like a scouting force from our Terran player out on the map does get the information that Zerg has not taken any of these northern bases, but man, that's just a Zerg army that you do not want to go straight up ahead against. Mutalisks, 3 scouting Mutalisks coming out. They see the bunkers. The bunkers are not shooting up because Reapers, unfortunately, their arms are not strong enough to lift their tiny pistols and point them towards the sky.
As far as Zerg builds to go up against, is there any worse composition than 2 very armored units and 1 air unit if you're going Reaper Hellion?
It does make it very difficult to get the 1 unit that would be good against all of this. That is for sure.
We've got Liberators and Vikings.
Liberators and
Vikings. The
Vikings?
Vikings are supply blocked.
Oh no.
The forward Mutalisks go down.
4 Mutalisks did go down, that's true. The Reapers might be not effective against them, but these Marines that are up top defending the first base very much are good against Mutalisks, especially when they're inside bunkers. Good Hellion count as well as Reaper backups coming in, kind of tucked away in the top of the starting base here for, oh yeah, Viking Liberator, 1 of each coming out of every starport. So it does look like this Mutalisk count already, that's a lot of anti-air to go up against. And yeah, I actually don't mind this this Viking Liberator combination against this army. If the Terran can force the Zerg to engage underneath sieged up Liberators, they'll start to melt these Ultralisks. Unfortunately, with the, let's see, Ultralisk armor is it is researched, so these guys are about as tanky as anything in the game, but their one weakness, of course, is they can't shoot up either. So goodness gracious, that is a lot of Ultralisks though. 7 already, and are there any more on the way? It's this is a sight to see. And it does look like 162. The interesting part of this is the army counts for both sides have pretty much been equal this whole time. I missed, what was the Zerg unit? Did anybody catch what the Zerg unit was that caused all the Terran units to to zip back to the back? Ah, there we go. Supply counts fairly close. It does look like we're gearing up for a 200 smash here in the middle. Terran's moving out just a little bit before then.
Gonna be a very one-sided smash, I think.
I think with how these Reapers are going to fare against the Roaches and the Ultralisks, the ground army for the Terran just completely getting chewed through. These Marines show up just a little bit late to the party, and it is the worst day of their lives. Just a handful of anti-air for the Zerg is going to push this back. One Marine survives to tell the tale, and he is running his ass back as fast as his poor stubby legs can take him to tell the tale of what happened this day. If you're Zerg, you're feeling pretty good about that last engagement. But Cryomancer's taking no risks. He is just continuing to build up, continuing to reinforce. And I do have to say,
12 medevacs currently queued up.
That is amazing, and that is one of the great things about.
Oh my! There's 3 more Starforts. Oh.
That's one of the great things about. When the StarCraft is such a, you have to be moving and paying attention to so many things. This is so many barracks that's going down.
Listen, you gotta remax quickly. Stop! That's enough.
Barracks.
I'm pretty sure the Marines on the right side are gonna get stuck.
I think you're right.
Hey,
I don't think there's.
They can move.
Not if his supply is full of medevacs.
Oh, that's a lot of medevacs.
We got 6
Miles
out
knows
right
that
now.
You can siege up Liberators?
That's a good question. It is. I don't know.
Important. Oh my.
Main base is mined out for the Terran. Natural expansion, pretty much there as well. Only 4 mineral patches left. Third base has gone down for both. Fourth base has gone down for both players.
I think 1 Marine from each of these barracks drains his entire mineral bank.
I think you're right. Oh my. Okay, that's too many barracks.
This is, dude. Someone needs to stop
I think
him.
he's memeing.
Someone
It's very possible that.
It's okay. We
memeing.
also have 1 reactor coming for one of the barracks.
Here comes the Ultralisks to just give a
they'll
welcome
put a stop
call
this
to.
nonsense,
Yeah.
I think.
And the real question is, can Terran mobilize his force at this point? I think the bunker wall has officially been too much. This is a lot of Liberators. If they figure out how to siege, oh my gosh. To be fair, this is a tough one to push up against as Zerg.
It does not look like the Liberators are getting sieged up.
I think you're right. Ultralisks being pulled back, at least 2 of them. Some of them are getting stuck pathing. They did take out one of the bunkers, but
Yeah, Miles is out of money.
they prevail. Yeah,
He just trained like 20 Marines. Getting the Caduceus reactor for in case the 20 medevacs isn't enough.
We do see a massive blue line running down across the map. 15 of those are medevacs, so intimidation factor is huge. Corruptors, though, will make short work of all of those. I was going to say flightless medevacs. That's not what I meant. Attackless medevacs that kind of just sit there in the air. They're great to a certain extent.
I don't think they can pull any Gantrathor maneuvers.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting
Ooh,
update.
deep cuts. I like that. I guess not that deep, but StarCraft specific cuts, which I appreciate. It does look like even just a pair of these Ultralisks are still so good against unupgraded Marines. They do have +1, I suppose, but they don't have. They're missing the combat shield and the stim, which are the quintessential upgrades for those Marines that really turn them into the powerhouse that we know and love. Does look like Zerg has 2 more bases set up. So many broodlings, corruptors. They're not broodlords yet, but the potential.
How many bases would you need to be mining to run 19 barracks?
That is a great question. I feel like 4 barracks. 2, yeah, 5. I think that would be my guess. 5 fully mining bases, like actively mining bases.
You'd be able to make 2 Marines out of each barrack before you're supply blocked.
That's a good point.
Before you're capped out with all the SCVs you need to sustain. You'd have to be like throwing them into a
literal meat grinder, yeah.
Right out the door.
So it's obviously too many barracks. But, hear me out. I've never seen someone replenish lost population this fast in a standard game. And
it's
the
fair.
Marines against the Corruptors are going to be good.
That is true.
Marines are pretty good. They don't quite have the damage upgrades to really contest these Ultralists very well.
Yeah, Tom's upgrades are thorough.
Yeah, especially
That's
without combat shields, these Ultralists are two-shotting their entire AoE worth of Marines.
That is terrifying. And lore accurate, so
yeah,
I'll give it to him.
I don't think combat shields would actually make a difference though. I don't know what the splash percentage is for Ultralisks.
Biblically accurate barracks wall. Ooh,
No, it's our Reapers. A little bit of Reapers in there for variety.
Broodlords have started to come out. Does look like gas, as usual, is the limiting factor here. Both gas geysers from the main and the pocket base have been mined out. But I mean, Broodlord Ultra Corruptor is a tough comp to go against, especially when... Well, I was gonna say maxed out Zerg, but we're not quite maxed out. There's still some wiggle room. Terran, on the other hand, is completely maxed out, and I think it's time to make a move. If you are the blue Terran, and there we go, F2. Get all the boys and everybody together.
No air upgrades mean these Liberators are going to be tickling these Corruptors. There's absolutely no hope in the air. I think the Broodlords are going to be the deciding factor.
I think you're right. And the Marines, if expertly, and I mean expertly controlled, could...
Miles is building 20 more supply depots. Oh, he's capped. Well, it's resistant to raids.
I think it's all going to come down to this attack right here. The Zerg is poised to strike against Miles's last remaining mining base. I guess the pocket base is technically still just hanging in there a little bit, but this is going to be so much damage, and he's just a little bit out of position. Pulls all the boys back as the base falls. Liberators do
Oh, they're moving, but they're not attacking. They're just walking in.
Oh, you hate to see
not
it.
the attack move.
Attack move, the bane of so many players. Kilometer leaves the game. Cryomancer wins game number 1. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of 2000 atmosphere, Ellie. I'm going to stop pretending I know what these maps are. It is Purple Zerg, cryomancer. Top right we have red Terran Kilometer. Very interested to see if the red will power the more aggressive stance the Kilometer will need to take out this Zerg, who is a master of all of the tech tree. Once again, we see double extractors coming down from the Zerg player. Single refinery so far from the Terran. Will there be a deviation? Will we see the same Reaper opening, Reaper Hellion to 30 barracks, kind of that sort of play, or is he going to change stuff up? I'm wondering if we'll see more Liberators now that Miles has realized that there is a secret weapon there. They can be so much more than just anti-air ticklers. Second refinery going down after this, the barracks this time. And it does look like... I mean, that's the thing with the beginning of a StarCraft game. There's only so much that you can talk about because there's only so much you can do. It kind of takes a while to ramp up. I'm really hoping that this SCV isn't trapped here. Okay, he's not. All right. For a second there, it looked like this SCV might have gotten trapped in by that engineering bay that was thrown down, but does look like an early armor upgrade coming out from our Terran player. That's interesting. Last game, I believe, we got the +1 attack, and that's about it. That's where we stopped. Ooh, does look like early reactor coming out before any units this time. Very interesting. Another early scout from our Zerg player. It's going to be able to see that there is no natural expansion thrown down just yet. It's going to get it. Oh my gosh, all of the boys. All of the boys. Get him! Yeah, get him! All right, he's got. He's dead.
Lesson learned. The drone will think twice.
That's right. Nothing too crazy just yet. Another Roach Warren and Lair tech being upgraded right now. Natural expansion on the way for the Zerg. I seem to recall that last game the Terran got his expansion down a little bit beforehand, but it is no longer the case. Does look like Kilometer has foregone the Reapers of last game and is opting for a pure Marine-based army for now. Factory is going down. +1 armor finishing, +1 weapons on the way. Some Marine scouts moving out across the map. Getting that vision. Getting some warning ahead of time if there is to be any Zerg cheeses coming out. Any early aggression.
Double factory coming out this time.
Oh, double factory. Very nice. Yeah, last game we saw, I think, a lot of Hellions and maybe a handful of Cyclones were thrown into that Terran army composition. Single Marine going to be taken out. Did get the confirmation that there is a natural expansion down and, or sorry, up and running from the Zerg. Although no drones have started to... What did you say? Wait, did I miss something?
Ravagers.
Ravagers. Oh, yes. Ravagers up at the front of the natural expansion from our Zerg player. I like these Marines just hanging out at the expansion locations, getting a pulse of what Zerg might be thinking of doing economically, and possibly being able to see if and when the first move out comes. Ravagers are nasty looking bugs. They're awesome. I've been playing a lot of Helldivers this week, and if there was a StarCraft mod that turned all the Terminids into Zerg, I would love it. We were talking last week about the Factorio mod that did the same kind of thing for those bugs. And I just think the StarCraft, like, the Zerg ethos is such an enticing, like, they did such a good job of just making them feel so nasty and bugs. I love it. Even the buildings, just like the way everything moves.
Ultralisk chargers.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Now I'm just thinking about StarCraft Ghost and I'm sad.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
There was a time when, like, right when Blizzard got, like, acquired, that there was some whisperings like, oh, maybe they'll, because, like, Activision, you know, big shooters, and, like, boo Activision, but also maybe StarCraft Ghost? But I don't think anything ever came from it, so. StarCraft Ghost, for anybody wondering, was a canceled project where you would play as, like, a ghost, which is, like, the invisible, like, the one that calls down the nukes. Super cool unit, and would have been awesome to have, like, a first-person shooter game in the StarCraft universe as one of those units, but...
Yeah, I think it was going to have a stealth focus.
Oh, would have been so cool. Just continuing to build up here.
A lot of starports for Terran.
As is customary. 6 starports, yeah.
All with reactors.
All with reactors.
All right. Those look like both factories also getting their own reactors. But so far, on the units tab, we see 13 Marines in total is the army of the Terran. Versus...
One for each medevac.
Perfect. You know?
They're dating.
Exclusive.
In Helldivers, Pelican 1, Eagle 1 are married.
No way.
Yeah,
That's
they
some
were-
cool
Okay,
lore.
now I'm
At
now I'm
least
sad
in
again.
Helldivers 1 they were. Helldivers 1 was like 100 years before Helldivers 2, but I imagine.
Oh, geez. There's so much lore about Helldivers I had no idea about. That's dope.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Helldivers 2 is a new Super Earth.
What?
Yeah, that's like the lore. They get completely bodied and they just like pick up and go elsewhere. It's like, this is Super Earth now.
This is the new Super Earth. I love it. Ultralisk Cavern about halfway done for the Zerg. So many missile turrets going down at that third base location for our Terran buddy. He's not taking any chances. He did not fare so well in the air battles of last game, and not looking to have a repeat performance. Unfortunately, that does significantly cut into the barracks funds. We do have about 3 barracks right now. 3 barracks, 2 factories, 6 starports. I think none of them building anything. Oh, barracks are fully stocked. They are ready to pump out some Marines right now. Third base goes down for the Zerg. a little bit behind the Terran, who already has theirs up and running. But in the units tab, it does look like we are pretty much even as we round the 100 supply mark. Lots of corruptors, a handful of ravagers, and some roaches here make up the full army of the Zerg. And so far, Marines and medevacs from the Terran. Some cyclones coming out from these reactored factories. Cyclone's a good anti-air option. And also, honestly, good against Roach Ravager as well. If you're able to like kind of push back and forth, do some kiting micro. The Cyclones, of course, are able to shoot while moving. One of the very few units in the whole game that have that ability. So give it enough room and enough time, these 3 Cyclones can take on the world. But they are a little bit paper thin, so if you don't pay super close attention while you're doing that, you can have your day ruined pretty easily. But I think it's cool to just throw a couple of those in there, especially if we are continuing to see more and more of these corruptors added into this army. 4 Ultralisks, by the way, also added in. No drones yet.
You can actually just walk straight through these starports. I was not expecting that.
Oh, that's fascinating. Interesting. Yeah. There is an element of StarCraft that is not often talked about, but some refer to it as the Sim City, of just like how you place your buildings. Certain units can get in through gaps like this, and certain others can't. It was a lot worse in StarCraft 1. There was weird rules where like certain units could clip through and like made 0 sense how they did it, but you'd have to position your buildings completely correct to fend off the like 4-pool Zergling rush. But StarCraft 2, every now and again you'll get a crazy thing like, I had no idea that Marines could walk through a starport in that configuration. That's cool.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. I thought for a second that I'd crashed as well. Again, it does look like we're back.
Oh, but Miles isn't in the call.
Miles left the call, but it appears he's still in the game. I do think it recovered. If we look at his APM, he's still moving. Yeah. It looks like he's back. He's still in the game. We'll re-add him to the call as soon as this game's over, but he was muted and deafened anyway, so just a quick blip. So many corruptors out for our Zerg player. Does look like we have 2 corruptors for each of these medevacs. And an interesting thing, this oh no, this bunker, did this bunker get upgraded? There's 6 Marines. Oh, he did get the upgrade. I forgot that existed outside of the campaign. The Neosteel bunker upgrade allows 2 extra slots for Terran bio units to come in. We did see a scouting corruptor fly through here. Did get the lay of the land. All 6 of the reactored starports there. And Terran has built themselves quite the defense on their 3rd base location. we're getting towards that point, that critical tipping point in every game where you start to bump up against that 200 mark and you have no excuses left. And it is time. It is time to march, and it is time to move out across the map. There's so many Ultralisks. If you guys knew that you had 9 Ultralisks coming up against you, what would your defensive strategy be? Like, what's a good unit to build against the onslaught of these big boys?
Immortals.
Ghosts.
Siege tanks.
Siege tanks is good.
At least in a defensive position like here, especially with these missile turrets kind of like breaking up the line.
That's true. Yeah, this would be a great place for some siege tanks, just kind of sprinkled around in the back.
Ghost Snipe just
Ghosts.
shreds through Ultralisks.
That would be...
Yep. Ghosts kind of get to do everything.
Immortals and Archons.
True, yeah. Protoss I feel like has an easier time, just like they could just kind of out tank it.
The Immortals are pretty extreme.
We see a scouting Liberator headed across the map. And here we'll get to see if he's putting
Jump
what
on
he
the
learned.
middle line.
Is he going to do it? There is a queen.
Believe.
Or is he just going to be purely a scouting Liberator?
Just scouting.
Just
He's found
gonna,
the
yep.
army.
He found it. And we do see Zerg was ahead in this race to the 200 mark for a while there, but blasting past with just this sheer amount of infrastructure. The Terran's there, just a hair before, and it does look like immediately hits 200, moves out. Like clockwork. So many Liberators.
Deal with the 9 Reapers and 2 Marines to complement these medevacs.
And here they come.
Let's see if Miles remembers to
Siege up. Yep.
I
It
would hope
takes-
so. I hope his plan isn't to just bring 9 Reapers and 2 Marines to fight these Ultras.
Reapers are
You can
gone.
do it. Siege them up.
Siege them up.
No, they're just attack moving. You've got to siege them up.
That is a lot of splash damage.
Well, it is enough to get the Corruptors.
If he does take out everything that can target air, he's got.
He's got
More
it.
time to figure it out, yeah. I know these armored Corruptors.
That is
No air upgrades are taking a long time to kill.
wow.
Tom marches away.
And
his
yeah, meanwhile the
Ultras.
Ultras are
Yep.
just.
He's gonna say, well, nothing I can do here. Might as well get some stuff done there. Oh, these Ravagers could have a juicy bile, but I think Zerg's attention is down on the Terran's third base, as Liberators are great.
Marine, not quite enough.
Yeah.
It's 5 months.
Yeah. And these Liberators are doing some great damage against the air units, the Corruptors and the Overlords, but unfortunately they don't have the staying power of the Ultralisks or the kill your base power that these...
Yeah, I don't believe they can even target structures, right?
They cannot. There's only so much that can be done on the Zerg side of the map right now. It does look like the Roaches have been instructed to just follow and intimidate.
Miles, you can do it.
Not a whole lot,
He's-
but
he's
he's just
found
gonna
all the overlords.
he's
He'll
just
kill
gonna
all of
keep
his supply.
yeah, and eventually, you know, there is a planetary fortress up here. If these Liberators, if they only knew how to siege.
They're so confused. Like this one, this Ultralisk right here.
We can all feel Miles just frantically clicking, right-clicking on each of these Ultralisks.
Pointing it
trying
out
to
like a
figure
hunting
out.
dog.
Yeah.
Here, right, this one.
Should I say something in the chat? Like, hit E?
Just say it, yeah, honestly.
See?
It's so sad. 25 Liberators staring helplessly, watching the Ultralisk destroy.
Hey! Hey, he did it!
He's got one.
On one. Here they come, here they come.
One at a time, one at a time. There he goes! Calling in an eagle. I'm pretty sure that's all she wrote, though.
I think you're right.
Even with this newly discovered tech.
It's true.
Yeah, it looks like all of the expansions have been found and dealt with.
Yep.
If he lifts off a single barracks, he can.
He can turbo cheese his way out of this.
Yeah, and defends it with 25 Liberators. That'd be hard.
That's a
You
good
just have to
point.
like build out a lot of corruptors. I really want to be a fly on the wall in Miles' room right now as he discovers the true power of the unit that he's been spamming this whole time.
It's so true. Has not rebuilt. And I think
And now
I
he's
don't
going
think
to
there's
discover
a
that they can't hit buildings. Oh.
This is terrifying though. Look at how
Tragedy.
many liberators there are.
Yep. There they are. And
Oh, the realization.
unfortunate.
Oh gosh.
Take out some anger on these overlords.
Oh, this is... I'm realizing this has the potential to just suck.
There's actual
to
stalemate
watch.
potential.
There is actual
They can't
stalemate
actually
potential.
Deal any damage to
0 base killing damage in this composition of 25 liberators and 9 medevacs.
Yeah. I was gonna say he has a barracks and factory, but they're supply blocked.
Oh gosh.
So,
He also has no SCVs left on the map.
Yep. So once these ultras chew through the remaining buildings, that is the always present but rarely thought about actual rule of when a StarCraft game ends is when somebody's buildings completely are destroyed. Does look like...
So you're saying
Run,
Miles'
Ultralisk.
best chance at a stalemate
look at that.
is
They've
to
got their own
kill
little
every
spoilers.
ground unit and then keep them sieged up around the larvae so that
Yep.
no.
Yep, that's literally...
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Need to get him back in here.
It makes sense. Yes, absolutely. This is going to be the best post-game interview, maybe of all time.
I have no idea what happened that match.
That was absolutely nuts. Here, let
I'm
me...
so confused. I feel like I lost that entire round, but
There you go. I didn't know if it was physically winnable at the end. I ended up surrendering, but
Well, unfortunately, Liberators do not hit buildings.
yeah, I realized
Heartbreaking realization.
I hadn't switched them over for like most of those fights. It's pretty tragic.
Yeah.
What an awesome game, though. That was so cool to see just like 25 Liberators just like queued up. Like,
oh yeah,
Crossing
he
the
absolutely
map.
melted my air troops. It's crazy.
terrifying.
I
Very
didn't know
fun.
what to do, so I was like, well, I guess I can send the Ultralisks to do some damage while I die.
Well, you did. It was an excellent job.
I was really confused at the end. I was like, where is his last base? I don't know what's happening.
Yeah.
But right on, good games.
Yeah, very good
games.
games. Thank you to both of you.